2024, she just came out punching. So, I'll just address the elephant in the room. It's me. And I'm okay with it, man. Like, I ate a lot over the past couple months. I'm definitely like an emotional eater. I definitely have not been holding back. And in the journey of like cooking, I knew I was gonna have to like cook shitty food first because that's what I like. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can make food that I enjoy the flavor of. I have a small frame, so like I'm heavily impacted when I'm heavy, and you know, it's just not a preferred state like to be this chunky. And again, whatever, I love a chunky girly. I actually found myself watching a lot of thicker creators lately, and it's just like, again, like love your body. But also the fuel I've been putting in my body is like, we know has not been good. So I'm kind of gonna look at different ways that I can like make some of these new recipes like a little healthier. I think that some things like keep the same. I watched this girl make a buffalo chicken dip with like cottage cheese instead of cream cheese, and I was just like, is it that serious? Like, no, life is meant to be lived, and like that's where it's at. I just want to be very clear that I am very grateful for everything I've ever put in my mouth. Why do I keep saying these things? But you know what I mean. Like, I love the food that I've eaten. I've worked with some of the best chefs in the nation. I say that all the time because I have. And I ate really well and for free most of the time. So like, you would too. After buying 5 different versions of Girl Scouts, I realized like, okay, let's have fun in February. We still got a couple weeks left. It's the shortest month, so I'm not gonna feel super guilty. But in March, we're getting back to like a regular human state. It's just so much going on, you know what I mean? Like in the world, in my life, like everything, and like, I don't know about you, but when things go wrong, like I'm less disciplined because I'm like, it's truly a fuck it. Like, it's like, what is it all like for? And so you have to really have your why. People say that 84,000 times, but it's true. Like, I didn't have a reason to eat healthy in a way. Like, I know that that's like a self-sabotage, anti-self-care thing in itself, but convenience and consistency were really a big piece of like 2023 for me that I needed to like get back into my life. Like, I feel like 2020 to 2022, I was just experimenting and I was trying new things. I'm very grateful, but I just had no consistency. And I think that's a lot of us, and I think we are dealing with the trauma of that. You know, 2023 was probably one of the hardest years of my life, to be honest. 2024, she just came out punching. So we're just like trying to be graceful for ourselves. I just want to be like clear, like you know when you're spiraling, and that has been pretty much this whole YouTube journey. So very grateful for you guys to watch this. And again, no regrets. I mean, we could talk macros, micros, calories, all that shit all day long, but like at the end of the day, I think it's not like you are what you eat, but like you kind of start looking like it. Like, you know, I kind of look like a little bit of like a buffalo mozzarella right now, but that's fine. I'd much rather you have a chunky sad girl season than, you know, hurt yourself physically or enter toxic relationships or like going into hardcore drugs. The whole goal is gonna be like March being a big month of getting my shit together. I don't know, we're just kind of rambling at this point. I'm sure you're probably like, why are you always in the kitchen? Aren't you supposed to be on the road? That's like your whole thing. Yes, we started this channel kind of post-road in winter, so it's a lot of cooking. Also, it's like a lot of emotional eating. Eventually, I'm sure on the channel somewhere I will share what I've been going through. But sometimes self-care is that period of time where you're just snacking. And if people can't relate to that, they probably just haven't found their perfect snack. This is not my perfect snack by any means. It's like a nice little brekkie. It's inspired by this place called the Eggshell in Denver, Colorado that I used to eat at when I was down there. And they do tater tots with eggs and like an herbed cream cheese. I'm gonna make that today. I really like cream cheese on savory items for whatever reason. I know it definitely adds like cholesterol and things probably, right? But I felt like a little self-love in the morning will help me in the right headspace. So we have our Trader Joe's hash browns. I don't like the McDonald's hash browns. I don't know if that's unpopular opinion, but they're always too greasy. And then these are the same, they look the same. I've never bought these before this pack because I don't like how greasy they are. But if you make them in the air fryer, it's crispy, but then it's not greasy. So I don't know how this tastes outside of an air fryer. I wouldn't have probably recommended it, but in the air fryer, it's really easy. So we're gonna preheat to 390 for 3 minutes. And then I'm just gonna hold these in here for a couple more minutes, for those 3 minutes. There's a lot of dairy in my breakfast. Hello? Can you see me? Can you see me? Hello? We'll be back in a second, don't worry about me. Chop up some onions for the eggs. I don't have a knife block and it seems unnecessary for me to buy one at this juncture in my life. So that's why we kind of end up using weird knives when we do things. So just to let you know, it's not that I don't know the appropriate tools, I just don't have them and I purchase them as need be. It's like I have my one knife. It's like I don't want to waste it cutting like the smallest bit of onions in the world. You know what I mean? It's breakfast. Can't be making all these dishes just for breakfast. But we do, right? Like onions. So we're gonna crack that baby open. Ah, balls. Give it a little lobotomy and take its brain out. Oh, that was a good shot for a second. I lost her, but anyways. Again, I don't know the reality of that, but somebody said, my grandma told me it's a chicken's brain or membrane, I think. I don't know what she really said to me, but that's why we take that white piece out. Piece. Okay. Give that a stir. All right, I'm gonna throw a little olive oil on this pan. We're heating it up for our eggs. In the meantime, we're going to finally put our hash brown in here. I do 390 for 8 minutes. So if I want a little crispier, I tend to go up with 10. Smidge of butter in there now. Have that kind of working around. And then we're gonna drop the onions in here. I thought about making bacon, but I put bacon on my soup yesterday, so I feel like that isn't enough. Alright, now we're gonna add the eggie. Normally I put cheese in it, but we're gonna have cream cheese on the ground, so. One thing about me is my kitchen timing sucks, so like nothing's ready at the right time, but it all works out at the end, so no big deal. So I'm gonna put this egg here for now. We can add it to our hash brown later. So we're gonna take out the crisp hash brown. Like I said, it gets nice and crispy, but it's like not oily. Our Maldon sea salt, we've got our hash brown, we've got some eggs that have been scrambled with onion. I have some green onions, I'm gonna use that for garnish. These are very strong, so not too many. And then some cream cheese.
Hey everybody, I hope we're wrapping up this February on a good note. You know, it's like Russ and I were saying, it's been very strange and a very difficult start to 2024. So just remember, like, every day it's a new day and we're gonna get through it, guys. We're gonna make it. So this week I wanted to talk about a movie that it's a comfort movie for me because it's so funny and ridiculous and silly, but you also have this romance that happened or was happening between its two leads. It's a movie from the 80s called Overboard. And it's Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. And, you know, they were together, but they weren't married. Like, they just recently got married. They've been together for like 40 years or something. But their relationship as a Hollywood couple is almost unheard of. You know, they've been together forever. They were both, you know, stars before they got together. They have amazing kids. Kurt adopted Goldie's kids from her previous marriage. I mean, and if you don't follow Goldie Hawn on Instagram, you are missing out because it is absolutely hilarious. She talks about her grandkids and, you know, being Kate Hudson's mom and Oliver Hudson's mom. And it's fantastic. And I feel like I grew such an affinity for those two people through this movie because I watched it constantly when I was a kid. And a lot of people sit there and go like, oh my God, this is horribly problematic. He basically kidnaps this woman, you know, from the hospital after she gets amnesia because he wants revenge on her for not, you know, paying him his money. And when you explain it like that, it sounds like a horror movie. But it really is just, it's a very sweet, you know, kind of love story with some elements that make you go like, oh my God. But it was the 80s. Like a lot of the comedies, you know, we already talked about Groundhog Day and, you know, these other movies that, you know, they were made with this understanding where it's fake, you know, it's a story, it's a fairy tale, you know, more than anything. But this one, yeah, it's it's a little unhinged and it's a little off the wall. But you know, if you've never seen it, it's, you know, Goldie Hawn is a rich princess type girl who has a yacht, hires Kurt Russell, who is a blue collar guy, to come in and rebuild her closet. She ends up throwing him out, throws his tools into the ocean, takes off on her yacht, falls off the yacht, gets amnesia, gets caught by a shrimp boat, taken back to shore, ends up in the hospital. He sees her on the news and goes, I'm going to have some fun with this. Goes and picks her up, says, this is my wife, and takes her home to help raise his 4 boys. Because his wife died. And over the course of this absolutely crazy, you know, life that they have, she becomes adapted to it and they fall in love. And eventually she gets her memory back. And, you know, it's just a really interesting kind of fish out of water. If you're a fan of things like Schitt's Creek, where you have that, you know, I had a lot of money and now I don't, you know, kind of, you know, thing. I think that you'll like this movie. And it's, like I said, it's very, very funny. It's very silly. It's incredibly quotable. If you are somebody who loves to quote movies and you haven't seen this, please add it to your repertoire. Overboard. I want to say it was like 1986-ish or something. Very funny, very cool. Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, Hollywood royalty. You'll love it. Check it out, guys.
Whenever I have someone visit Nashville, there's obviously a couple of places that they always suggest we go, and one of those is Pancake Pantry. In Hillsborough Village, you'll find this beloved breakfast haven. They've been open since 1961, and they really do have some of the best pancakes I've ever had. You may have to wait about 20 minutes. There's almost always a line for this restaurant, so just be prepared and bring a coat if you need to, but I believe it's definitely worth the wait. Viewfinder up, and I always feel so silly because then I don't know in the screen. That's the point of a viewfinder. And I remember watching Intervention and seeing like the episode like where the girl's on meth and she's like eating a cup of noodles and she's arguing with somebody, and she like throws the cup, like the cup from the noodles and it's like the liquid or whatever at the person. But in her hand, she still had the fork with like the noodle chunk hanging off of it, and she just starts like eating it. And in that moment, I realized like I can never take meth because I think I'd like that too much.